I am recording, so that little button will come up, and after that, we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to look and see where they're going with the slides on the frequency distribution. That's chapter 2. And yeah, they still haven't figured out what's wrong with AC 137. It's been perfect for 3 years, and all of a sudden, something happened and it doesn't work. There's a certain saying in life that says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And some people need to realize that. I'm waiting for it to come up. Where is the PowerPoint? Let me hit it again. There. And I'm just using this as a guide. I think we were coming off of this one right here, maybe, where I told you that relative frequency is basically a percentage. Did we do anything like that?
Mm-mm.
What I have on my notes is the last thing was relative frequency equals number over total percentage in parentheses.
Okay, well, I'm going to overlap. I'm going to make sure I cover what I need to. So I'm going to start with something total. I'm going to start with 2 frequency distributions, and then y'all can have 2 sets of frequency distribution, and that way you can't say I didn't show you enough material, like Miss Kidd probably would say. She'd probably say that. He didn't show us enough material. All right, here we go. So put that dang dog out. Get that dog out of here. We don't need dogs in the, oh.
This is my emotional support dog. Leave me alone.
Let me guess. That dog solves all your problems, right?
She's my emotional support dog.
Oh, okay, whatever. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Her owner
All
special
right.
needs.
What?
Her owner is special needs.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. All right, so we got 2 frequency distributions here, and I probably gave you 2, and I probably said there was difference between the 2. And I'm gonna call this one eye color and head count. And we're gonna call this, I'm still gonna go with age. I probably did age with y'all, and head count. Now, first of all, if it's eye color or hair color, blondes, brunettes, and redheads, that's, you don't put eye up there. Those are what we call categories. Category. Category. And category means that it's what? Starts with a Q?
Quantitative.
Nope, the other one.
Qualitative.
Qualitative. Qualitative goes with category. Category goes with qualitative. So that is a qualitative frequency distribution. And that focus is not right.
Oh, focus.
That's about as good as it's going to get right there, 80. 80 is about as good as it gets. And, all right, and let's go with, of course, the best one, brown, blue, and green. And 14, 5, and 2. And over here, age, we'll go with 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 30. Oops, to 29. And 30 to 34. That's a 29 in case y'all can't read it. And that's 2, 4, 8, 5, and 1. So with that being said, the classes are on the left-hand side, age. These are classes. And this is called quantitative. Okay, qualitative and quantitative. Tonight is Tuesday night. I got a couple of shows that come on that I watch. Moonshiners, I watch that. And then I watch, anybody ever heard of the Mystery of Oak Island?
Yeah.
I watch that too. And then I have to record a couple of things because there's nothing on after that. And I don't go to sleep till late, so I have to record something else. So I got to find something else to record. And I don't know why I brought that up. I guess it was just on my mind. But anyway, all right, category, qualitative, classes, quantitative. Now, remember, I might have said this, that this one is not mathematical. So I put a dotted X through it, meaning that the only thing you can do with this one is pretty much do a relative frequency. And that's what we're fixing to do right now with this one because that's all we can do. So here we go. I'm going to do relative frequency. First, I got to have N. And N is equal to 21, is it not?
It is.
And now I'm going to add another column. And we're going to call it relative frequency. Now, I will say that sometimes they want it in terms of a fraction. Sometimes they want it in terms of a decimal. And sometimes they want it in terms of a percentage. Most of the time, 90% of the time, they want it as a decimal.
Yeah, and it's a pain in the butt too because they want you to round this way or round that way and you never get it right.
Yeah, it is a Russian conspiracy against you, Miss Kidd.
I know.
That's what it is. So most of the time, they want a decimal. Therefore, the total of the total frequency of the relative frequency is not equal to 100%. It's equal to what? 1. And that is a test question. And you will see that in the homework. You will see it in my test. And you will see it on standardized tests. It's not 100%. It's 1. Because decimals equal 1. So this one's going to be 14 over 21, which is equal to, well, 7 will go in there 2/3, which is equal to 0.67. 5 over 21, I have no idea. And 2 over 21, and I'm not going to worry about those. Going to turn them into a decimal. And if you add those 3 decimals up, you should get 1. Now, can somebody do 5 over 21 and give me a within the hundredths and not screw it up? Can somebody do that for me?
0.24.
Okay, somebody do 2 over 21.
I love when you do it in the morning.
What was that noise? What's 2 over 21?
It's 0.1.
I'm sorry, what?
0.1. It's 0.09, but
Okay, we need, okay, now add all 3 of those up, and you should get 1. If you rounded correctly, giving me the answers. I don't think it's going to be 1 point, so you probably, it's going to be around 1, but the total is 1. It's going to be around 1.01 or something like that. Did anybody add it up? What'd you get? 0.09, 0.24, and 0.67. 0.91 and yeah, that's it, 1.0. I got mine to come out right, Miss Kidd.
I don't think this is the one I'm talking about. It's where I have to get all the way down to like the percentage. This is the
Okay.
part that I get right. It's when I get to the very last part of the question.
Okay, well, y'all sent me those questions, but I want to go through 2.1 and 2.2 before I get to those questions. All right, so that's about all you can do with a qualitative, qualitative frequency distribution is for relative frequency and N. Now, I'm going to copy the quantitative on the next page, and that's age. Because I want to have a lot of room to do this. 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, and 30 to 34. And the head count is 2, 4, 8, 5, and 1. Now we're going to talk about what you can do with a quantitative. Which one do you think I'm going to test you on the most?
The quantitative.
Because it's mathematical, yes. So make sure you take good notes here. First of all, since it's quantitative, here's your class. And here's your frequency. Make sure you call it a frequency because there's some instructors that teach probability and statistics that will get offended if you call it a head count. It's a frequency. All right, we got to get N. So this red N is equal to, let's see, 8 and 2, that's 10, 14, 19, 20. Okay, so all the things in red that I'm doing, you need to be able to do, or you need to be able to describe. Now, let's talk about, let's take a highlighter, a yellow highlighter, and let's highlight these numbers over here. Now, I really don't know if I went over this with y'all, so I'm asking. So please don't say, oh, we already went over that. Remember, I told you I'm overlapping. I'm making sure I covered everything. Did I tell y'all what the left-hand side was called?
Isn't that the lowest limit?
Lower class limit, yes. So I'm going to put lower class limit. And that is a test question. So make sure you understand that those 5 numbers right there are the lower class limits. And that means that the ones on the right is called the what?
Higher class limit.
The upper class limit. Well, I'm going to do anything to make you wrong, Miss Kidd, to discourage you. Upper class limit. You feel discouraged yet?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to keep on.
Yep.
All right, so you got the lower class limit and you got the upper class limit. Let's change that upper class limit. Let's do orange. Okay. Now let's get into some more test stuff. Besides N, what else am I going to test you on? Well, mathematically, I'm going to test you on the class width. I'm going to test you on the class boundary. I'm going to test you on the midpoints. And of course, you're going to add a column here, and it's going to be called the what? Relative frequency. Make sure you add that little bit of sophistication onto frequency when you say it, because you want to impress somebody by saying it, okay? Especially down in Ivor. And technically, are you? Yeah, you are. You down there? Yeah, you down there in Antroville. Didn't you say you were down there toward Antroville?
Yes, sir. I'm on like
Yeah.
session.
There's no crime rate down there either.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and do we did the total, we did N, now the class width. Well, I'm going to take a corresponding lower class limit or upper class limit and subtract. Two corresponding lower class limit. So I'm going to give you some examples. 15 minus 10. 34 minus 29. 25 minus 20. And all of those equal what? 5. So your class width is equal to 5. So we got that taken care of. Class boundaries. Remember, whole numbers, you're going to use tenths. And I use 0.5. Tenths, if you have a frequency distribution to the 10th, where your classes are to the 10th, then you're going to go to the 100th, which I suggest 0.95. And then if you're to the 100th, you're going to go to the 1,000th. And I would suggest 0.995. So we have whole numbers here. So what's before 10?
Ones.
Not before 10. What's before 10? What number comes
9.
before 10?
9.
9. But you can't have a whole number. You got to have a tenth. So what am I going to call it? 9.5. Now I'm going to add my class width. That's going to give me 13.5. I'm sorry, 14.5, 19.5, 23.5. And those are my class boundaries. That's why the class width is so important. The class width is important because it helps you calculate the 4 class boundaries. Okay, 5 class boundaries. Should be, wait a minute, I got an error. That should be 14.5, 19.5, 24.5, and 29.5. That should be the class boundaries that go right here. All right, now what? The midpoints. Midpoints are easy. You just take your first lower class limit and add it to your first upper class limit and divide by 2. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put them in the middle. So what is 10 plus 14? That's 24. Half of 24 is what? 10 plus 14 over 2 is 24 over 2, which is 12. And I'm going to put that 12 right there. And what's 12 plus 5? 17. And what's 17 plus 5? 22. And what's 22 plus 5? 27. And what's 27 plus 5? And that's it.
I'm lost. I've been lost since class boundary.
Okay. Then I can't explain it no easier. We just might as well quit. All right. I'm going to go to the next page and we'll explain it a little bit better for you. Tell me when you finish copying and we'll go to the next page.
Okay, I was about to say I'm lost too.
Okay.
Okay. 9.5. How do you get the class boundaries again?
You look at the first number, that 10 right there.
Uh-huh.
Is it a whole number?
Yes.
Yes. So you're going to, whatever you put right here or down here, it's going to be to the 10th. 0.5. So what comes before 10?
9.5.
9.5. Well, 9 comes before 10, but you can't use a whole number. You got to use a 10th. So you do 9.5. And then you just add 4 until you get to down here, which would be 29.5.
Is that 23.5 and then 29.5?
Yeah, I messed up. It's 24.5. I'll write it out to the side. You were supposed to be paying attention.
I am paying attention.
Oh.
But you don't see me squinting over here because I'm lost like a fart in a whirlwind.
Miss Gill, are you still lost? I'm gonna go over it again. We'll do another one. Okay, 9 plus 5 is 14. That's 14.5 right here. And I don't usually write in red, but red, I'm trying to show you what's important. And don't forget the relative frequency. 2 over 20, which is equal to 0.1. 4 over 20. Well, that's 0.2. That's real nice. 8 over 20. Let's see, that's going to be 4 over 5, right? No, 4 over 10. That's 0.4. 5 over 20. That's 0.025, isn't it? Somebody help me out there. And 1 over 20, which is 0.005. Somebody check my math on those.
0.25.
And those are your relative frequency. Check my math, please. Gmail. With your calculators.
The 5 over 20 is 0.25.
0.25. I put an extra 0 in there. I'm sorry. 0.25. And this is 0.05.
Yes.
Thank you.
0.2.
Sometimes when you're doing it in your head, you put some extra zeros and spaces in there.
Hey, it's okay because I can't do any math in my head, so that's a lot better than me.
You're not supposed to talk to me, Miss Gill. You're supposed to be quiet. You're not supposed to interact with me.
Sorry.
The rest of the class.
But then
The rest of the class is going to get mad at you and Miss Kidd for interacting with me. All right, so here we go. Let's do a nerd. And I'm going to let you do as much as you can before I kick you in the stomach. All right, here we go. Here's your classes. And here's your frequency. And let's go with 15 to 20. And let's go from 21 to 24. And let's go from 25 to 30. And let's go from 31 to 34. And let's go from 35 to 40. And let's go with 1, 2, 6, 3, 1. Okay, now that's what I'm going to give you on the test. And I'm going to ask you for everything. I'm going to ask you for N. I'm going to ask you for the class boundary. I'm going to ask you for the class width. I'm going to ask you for the midpoints, and I'm going to ask you for the relative frequency. So go ahead and go at it. And if you can't do it, just mark it up as a failure. And you just wasn't cut out to do this stuff.
That may
Right,
be
Miss Kid?
yeah, that might be what happens to me.
Yeah. I ain't letting you quit.
I forgot to
Miss
mention.
Gill,
I forgot
you
to
and
mention
Miss
I
Gill make
spent
up
all of my
class.
time. I forgot to mention I spent all of my time taking college algebra between class and tutoring.
Well, that's why I keep. Who'd you have for college algebra?
It was in Athens, Georgia. Math is not a strong point. Never has been for me.
When I started at Tri-County Tech, I was in the math lab. I had earphones on, and I could not listen to this. Your math teacher could not add fractions when he started at Tri-County Tech.
I still can't. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm 32 years old.
You just haven't been taught correctly. And you had a teacher like I had in the 7th grade that probably ruined your math career.
She used to throw books at me and staplers. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I
the
had one too.
sorry, for the relative frequency, what do you want us to round it to? The 10th or
For what? For which one?
for the relative?
I just suggest you to the second digit, to the
Okay.
hundredths.
Okay.
Usually that's what they do.
Gmail.
So I believe I'm gonna have to turn this light on. It's getting kind of dark in here. Oh gosh, it's too light. But hopefully you can see it better. All right, y'all ready? Or you want me to wait?
Dally, shut up. Go out there.
Now my concentration's broken.
Why? Because you can't see my wiener dog.
Yeah. That's what I live for, to see dogs. All right. Okay, we'll start off easy. What's the n?
13.
Let's check. 6 and 5 is 11, 12, 13. So n is equal to 13. And we can go ahead and do the relative frequency. I'm just gonna do the fractions because I don't feel like doing the rest of it. So, because it's not an easy number to do unless you have a calculator. So this is 1 over 13, 2 over 13, 6 over 13, 3 over 13, and 1 over 13. What'd you say, Miss Kidd?
I was going to say, you want me to call them out for you?
I appreciate it, but I'm just going to move on because I want to get the rest of the stuff so we can move on with 2.2 or whatever we're in, 2.1. All right, so that's the relative frequency. The class width. Well, I'm going to highlight two numbers to find the class width. You can pick any numbers you want as long as they're following each other. So there's my class width. I'm going to write it down up here. 1. Class width is equal to 21 minus 15, which is equal to 6. And now I'm going to find my class boundaries. 2 class boundary is equal to what whole number comes before 15?
14.
14, but you can't use a whole number.
14.5.
Thank you. And you use 14.5 because this is a whole number. You got to have a decimal that's, to the 10th. Now, could you use 14.8? Yes. You could use 14.3 if you wanted to, but that wouldn't make any sense unless you just like whips and chains. If you like pain and you want to work with a 14.3, knock yourself out. But I wouldn't do that. 14.3 isn't close to 15. But 14.5, 14.6, 14.7, 14.8, and 14.9 are. So if you want to use 14.9, you're welcome to. But most of the time, when these are whole numbers, most of the time when these are whole numbers, the book or the test will go with a 0.5. And if it's a 10th, they'll go with 0.95. And if it's 100, they'll go with 0.995. Okay? So I'm going to add those. Somebody add 14 plus 6. 20. What's 20 plus 6? What's 20 plus 6?
26.
So why'd you get 15, but the last example was 5?
I'm sorry, what?
Why are you using 15 for the class boundaries when 14.1 or 5, whatever, when the last one was 5, but it didn't have 5 on the class?
All right, what comes before 15?
14.5.
14, but you can't use the whole number, you got to use the 10th. So that's why I got 14.5.
So the class boundary is always going to be like the first number of the class?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, now what's 20 plus 6?
26.
26.5. What's 26 plus 6?
32.
Thank y'all for interacting. And what's 32 plus 6?
38.
Okay, I think I've got an error somewhere. Okay, 14.5, 20.5, 26.5. There's the error. That's not right. That's supposed to be 32. That's supposed to be 30.5.
So you're just taking the lower class limit and adding.
I'm adding, but something's wrong. Wait a minute. Something's wrong. That's why I don't like to make up problems. All right.
Isn't it supposed to be 24.5?
Yes, but why don't I? 6 plus 20 is not 24.5. I've got an error somewhere. Oh, I know what I got wrong. I've got these set up wrong. 21 minus 15, I've got it set up wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. I'm going to fix this right now. Okay, I'm going to fix this and we're going to start another problem. That's what happens when you start when you make up a problem. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the midpoint of the first two so you can check your work. But there's an error right here. See here, what's 15 from 21? 6. What's 25 minus 21?
4.
4.
See, there's an error there. I've got an error in these classes, 15 to 20. I've got an error. I'm sorry. I've got an error there. The midpoint is 15 plus 20 divided by 2, which is 35 divided by 2, which is equal to 17.5. And then you would add the class width to those. Okay, I'm going to make up another problem. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to confuse you. Let me go ahead and let me go over here, and I'm going to pull up a problem out of,
This ain't for me.
give me a second. I had to put My Labs Plus under Google and TCTC under another, because TCTC logs you out after 5 seconds and it messes up everything. So I apologize. So I had to put, well, I thought I did. I think I must have. Sometimes I'll just be quiet. Just be quiet, Hubert. My Labs Math. I must have accidentally X'd out of it. This because of Russia. Anything that goes wrong in your life, you blame it on Russia. All right, let me go to the e-text. No, what section are we on? 2.1. I'm going to go to the homework. And I'm just going to pick one out of 2.1. Golly, there ain't hardly any problems there. Maybe I need to go back and fix that. There's only 8 problems. Where is the frequency distributions? Okay. Oh, really?
Yes.
They only give you one. Okay, I'm gonna go to the study plan. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick out a good one that I would test you with. 2.1. Let me pick you out some good problems, good frequency distributions that I would put on a test. I wouldn't put those on there. I didn't like those at all. Let me find them. Those are qualitative. There we go.
Those are very big numbers.
Yeah, those are big numbers. I don't like them, but it looks like that's what I'm going to have to deal with. Yeah, let's go back there, and we're going to do, if I can get there, we're going to do the women. No, they don't have classes there. Okay. Here, we're going to do the teens. All right, we're going to do the teens. So I just want you to do what I do. Just make you another table. And we're going to add, this is going to be called number of text. And I'll show you this in just a second. None. And then 1 through 10. And then through 11 through 20. And then 21 through 50. And then 51 through 100. And then 100 plus. That's not going to work either because they don't even give you the right classes.
I'm not about this life.
What?
I said I'm not about this life.
I'm gonna give you another one. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna make up another one. I'm gonna make sure this one's right. let me just, I'm sorry. Class, let's go with, let's start off with what they did. 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20, I'm gonna just go here. 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and 40 to 49. There we go. And your frequency, I didn't mess this one up because I've already done it in my head. Okay, the frequency is 2, 5, 9, 4, and 1. Okay, now I want you to do, now I think you'll find that the numbers come out better with this one. And just just accept my apologies for screwing up that last one. It is the end of the day, and I have taught 4 classes today, so I hadn't started drinking yet.
Maybe that's what I need. My nerves.
Well, you can drink all you want to in class, but I can't.
This is true.
I guarantee you somebody would smell it through the internet.
Microphone.
Yeah. That's the kind of luck I have. Other teachers, they can do whatever they want to, and nobody says a word. I do one little thing, and I offend somebody. All right, I'm going to give y'all 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay.
Wait.
That's 21. So 2 divided by 21. 5 divided by.
I could have swore there.
Babe, there goes the ambulance.
Okay. Somebody tell me what n is equal to.
21.
All right, I'm going to check. 9 plus, yep, 21. So your relative frequency (2 over 21, 5 over 21, 9 over 21, 4 over 21, and 1 over 21. Make sure before you round the decimals, you check the directions as far as rounding. Now, the guys are going to have to really be careful there because y'all don't read directions very well. So please read the directions and make sure you're rounding correctly with the decimals on those fractions. Now, the class width. And hopefully this will work because I checked it as I was doing them. And that's going to be 10. What's 20 minus 10? What's 30 minus 20? What's 40 minus 30? What's 49 minus 39? What's 39 minus 29? All of those are 10. the class boundary, what comes, I'm gonna make it easier for you. What comes before 10?
9.5.
So 9.5, and you could actually say 9.5 minus 10 is negative 0.5. You could actually do that right here, negative 0.5, and then 9.5, and so on. All right, so 9.5 plus 10 is 19.5. What's 19 plus 10?
29.
29.5 plus 10.
39.5.
39.5, and it gives you those class boundaries right there. Class width, midpoints. Let's do
Okay.
the first one.
Okay. This is where I'm getting lost at. It's not necessarily that I'm lost, but I'm getting really confused because you take the class boundary, it's 9.5, and you add 10, which is the class width, to every lower common, whatever you call it.
That's why we do the class width first, because
Right.
you add it to everything.
Okay. So you add it to 0, 10, 20, 30, and 40.
Well, to keep the confusion down on this one, because we started with 0, I kind of went to here because everybody knows what number comes before 10. If I asked you what number comes before here, you'd say -1. And then you'd get confused because I got a 0.5 there. So what I did is I dropped down to 10, and I said, what comes before 10? And somebody said 9. And then I said it's 9.5. And then I subtracted 10 from 9.5, and I got -0.5. And you add 10, you get these numbers right here. 19, 29, 39.
So like 20 plus 10 is supposed to be 29.5.
There you go. No,
that's 30.
19 plus 10 is 29.
19 plus 10, and you add the 35.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just add, the class width is added to everything.
And 29 plus 10 is 39.5.
There you go. Now, what is the midpoint? I take the 0 plus 9, divide by 2, and that gives me what?
4.5.
And then I add 10 to that. Add 10 to that. Add 10 to that.
14.5.
I did 14.5 right there. And then 44.5. How do I know where to stop? Well, your number 44.5 falls in between here. There's no other numbers down here. That's it.
This is too many steps.
What?
This is too many steps.
No, you know what it is?
What?
It's new to you.
Yes, I have never done any kind of probability whatsoever.
Yep, it's new to you.
Probably because I'm old. Graduated in
Mr.
2007.
Spear, this is funny, but when you got up, your bed with that curtain behind it looks like an altar.
Yeah, it does.
Look at it. Move right quick, Mr. Spear. Don't it look like an altar?
Yeah.
I thought Mr. Spear was in church. All right.
I got a light on my roof.
That's it. That's the light
Coming
down on it. All right. So that's how you do. You want to do another one? Would you feel better doing another one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If I don't screw it up.
And what did you end up?
I don't screw it.
Let's go with, I'm going to try to start with something easy. Let's go with ages 20 to 29. I'll try not to mess this up. 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and 50 to 59. I know it's kind of like it, but I left the 0 out on this one. And the head count or the frequency is 8.
Your monitor
7.
goes up.
It'll unfreeze in a second. It should. 1. Did it unfreeze?
No, sir.
So where is it frozen at?
20 to 39 and then 30 to 30. There it goes.
It usually unfreezes. All right, so I want y'all to do it, everything. And I'm going to put a clock here so I can add some more stress. How about that? Anything to help out discouraging you.
Stress.
Like we don't get enough of that.
Yep. I try to please.
I know. I aim to please, right?
Yep, there you go. How about that? Look at there. Give you a couple of minutes. I could add the Jeopardy music.
No, it's okay.
Somebody's fire thing just went off. I took mine out. They kept chirping when the battery went dead, so I yanked them all out of the ceiling.
Oh, that's not good. They're just trying to keep you safe.
Yeah, but I need to put new ones in anyway. And plus, if this house catches on fire, I've got like 5,000 windows and 2,000 French doors to jump out of.
Okay, you won't burn to death, but you'll break something.
Well, half the French doors don't lock anyway, so it's not like I can't open them.
True.
And I don't have a 2-story house because when I was married and I built my house, I said, why in the hell would I build a 2-story house when I get old and decrepit? How am I going to climb the dadgum stairs? Or I'm going to end up like that commercial. I've fallen and I can't get up. My ex-wife and I had one of the biggest fights over whether the house was going to be 2-story or 1-story.
A 2-story, like my little kid dream. Now I just want a 1-story because I already have to do stairs at work.
Exactly. And when you get, and I hate to say this, Miss Gill, but when you get old and decrepit, you ain't gonna want a 2-story house.
You ain't gonna want to clean it either.
Exactly.
That's why I want a small little house, enough room for everybody. You know, maybe 3 bedroom, and that's it.
See,
These
I'm
people
so
buy-
screwed up.
What gets me is these people that big old monstrosities, and only 2 people live in the house.
Yeah, well, they also have things.
We all know what that's about, so we ain't gonna even. That's about like the smokestacks on the pickup truck. So we're just gonna leave that alone. Okay, that's 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Wait, I'm at the last part at midpoint.
I'm not
Okay,
even.
go
I
ahead.
can't get past class width, so I'm
Bull
done.
crap. Yes, you can.
No, I can't. I really
What
can't because
comes before
I'm
20?
screwed up.
What comes before 20?
19.5, and I got
Okay.
19.5.
All right.
minus
So what's
10 equals
19.5? What's 19.5 plus 10?
So it's plus, not minus. So see,
You always add it. The only reason I subtracted it on that second one is because it had 0 there.
29.5. Now you go to the next one, like 30, 29.5 plus 30 or 10.
You add 10 to each one.
Oh, God.
What comes before 30? It's 29.5. You check yourself that way. And you stop at 49.5 because what comes before 50? 49.5.
So you only do 3? That's it.
Well, what's your last number?
49.5.
So you don't go any further.
Okay. So then I go to my boundaries, which
There
is
you go. And what's 20 plus 29?
where'd you get 20 from?
You always pick the first lower class limit and the first upper class limit. Add
49.
them together.
49.
49 divided by 2.
You have a work email.
24.5.
And you keep adding 10 until you get to your last class. Now see there, you did it.
Mm-hmm. Not for the fact that you didn't help me. Promise you.
I taught you through it.
That's the problem. I'm one of those people that it has to be one-on-one.
Well, I'll be glad to do that. Just let me know. 8 divided by, let's see, 8 and 7 is 15, 27, 28. 7 divided by 28. Somebody check my 28 and make sure that's right. 12 divided by 28 and 1 divided by 28. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's relative frequency. And now I'm going to find my class width. What is the class width?
10.
Good job. Now, Miss Kid,
2, 3, 4.
what is your first number? 20.
On.
What comes before 20?
19.5.
So here we go. Class boundaries. 19.5. Start adding 10. 29.5. 39.5. 49.5. Why do I stop there? Because 49.5 is right here. Now, there are some books, write this down. Some books will ask for that last one right here, which is 59.5. And I'm going to put that in red. Some books will ask for that last one. All you got to do is just add another 10. So look at there. There's your class boundaries. I want to show you something. This is a trick I learned in the war. What comes before 20?
19.5.
All right, now watch this. What comes after 29 and before 30?
29.5.
I can't speak mumble.
29.5.
What comes after 29 and before 30?
29.5.
What comes after 39 and before 40?
39.5.
That's why they're called class boundaries. What comes after 49 and before 50?
49.5.
And so on. Now let's do the midpoints. The first midpoint is 20 plus 29 divided by 2, which is 44.5. Add 10. I'm sorry, 24.5. Somebody help me out. Is it 24.5? I think it is.
It is.
Add 10.
34.5.
Add 10.
44.5.
And
54.5.
And why did I stop there? Because
you're in between your last boundary.
There you go. Now you're learning it. And that's it.
So when I did my class boundaries, though, you had me add 24.5 plus 10, then you got the 34.5 plus 10, and so on. So when you get to the midpoint, you take 20, which is your first class, lower whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Lower class limit plus upper class.
Lower class limit.
Right here.
Okay, that's your lower class limit. Plus 29, which 29 is the width, the class
upper
width.
Class limit. Remember, I
Okay,
showed you
so
at the beginning.
lower
These
class limit, upper
are your lower
class
class limits.
No, you don't subtract them, you add them, right?
Well, hold on. Let me finish. And these are the upper class limits. So 20 plus 29 divided by 2.
Got
And
that.
then you add 10.
And you continue to add.
Add the class width until you get to the end, which is right here.
Plus 10, which is 44.5, plus 10, which is 54.5. So, okay. Now, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what you're going to see, and you can make these up all day, but the only thing is, let me find some for you. Let me go to the e-text because class is pretty much shot tonight because of my mistake, but I'm okay with that. I'll just get some smokestacks to put on my truck, and that will make everything go away, right?
Yeah.
Or is it now it's squatting? That's what you do for overcompensation issues now. All right, so back in my day, it was, well, no, back in my day, we didn't do stuff like that. I don't think we did. When did the smokestacks come along? They come along back in the 90s, I think. Okay, let me find, I'm trying to find something here. Chapter contents 2.1. And I'm going to go to the homework in the book and see if I can find some that you can work on by yourself. If not, I'll make some up. How about that? Because I'm getting the feeling that there's some self-doubt with these problems, and I want to make sure I cover it.
I got some self-doubt about this whole class.
Okay, well, quit. Just quit.
I can't. I paid for it.
Well, as soon as I get your money, that's all that matters to me.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You got a few more payments. You got to make it till April at least if you want to get paid.
Yeah. Okay, let me find the homework. They are not making this section easy at all. Okay, here we go. Okay. Why do they want to give y'all? Okay. No, that's not what I want. I'm going to make you up some. How about that? I'm going to make you up some problems, probably 3 or 4 more, and I'll put them on the file page. It'll be called extra frequency distributions. Now give me at least a day, okay? Y'all got like till Thursday. Give me at least till tomorrow, and I'll make up some frequency distributions, and you can work on those, okay? Or let's see if there's some on Google. Let's see, Google. Does Google come up? Frequency, quantitative frequency distribution problems. PDF. Oh my Lord, no. Those are not quantitative. I'm seeing if I could find some for y'all to try. Just let me look at a couple of places. Hold on. Frequency distribution. quantitatively. All right, I'll just make up some. I'm not going to go through all this. I'll make up some and put them on the file thing. What do you say to that?
Sounds good.
Will you feel better if I put like 5 of them on there and y'all can work them, and then we'll work them Thursday when y'all come back? How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
And quit
That sounds good.
worrying about the other stuff. Right now, you're only responsible for 1.1 through 1.4 and 2.1 material. Work on it. The rest of it we'll get to when we get to. I'll probably go over 1.4 through 2.1 homework problems Thursday. But I want to get this taken care of first because I feel like there's a little bit of, what do you call it, insecurities about that material. So I'm going to make sure y'all understand it. Meanwhile, while I'm making sure y'all understand it, I'll be discouraging Miss Kidd so she will eventually drop out. So hopefully it's a kind of a joint effort here. Y'all have a good night. And let me know if I'll hang around in case you need anything. Most of y'all, go ahead and do the bat out of hell thing that y'all do when y'all get out of class. And the rest of y'all, if you need to ask questions, hang around.
There is nothing about statistics that is easy, is it?
This class is not as difficult as it can be.
I know.
Let me tell you, there are some teachers that make it rough.
Oh, I can imagine that it is. I know I've never had this material before. I just feel really dumb, but I haven't been in a college math class since probably.
Look at this. How hard is that math?
It's not hard when you learn how to do it.
Exactly. No. And it's basic math.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 plus 29. But you just got to know when to do it. And you're sitting at a piano and you've never had a lesson and you're trying to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yeah. And you haven't been shown how to do it. So just have patience with me. I'm going to lead you through it. You're going to be okay.
You better tie a rope because I feel like I'm finna fall off the wagon.
What do you got in that glass? That's what I want to know.
This?
Yeah.
That's my nerve calmer, okay?
That's your remedy?
That's my remedy.
Okay, Miss Ritchie or Miss Gill, y'all got a question?
I was just gonna say, is the I lost my question. Hold on. Is the problems that you're gonna have, is that for extra practice, or are you gonna have that as a grade?
I'm just gonna have it as extra practice because the only reason I'm giving it to y'all is because I feel like there's a couple of y'all, or maybe the ones that talk to me, you and Miss Kidd, you're basically telling me that you're having problems with it. So I'm giving you some extra problems.
Okay. I think I
guarantee you there's probably 3 other people in the room that have the same problems, but they're not going to say anything.
Yeah. I think I figured it out, but I would like those extra problems. I was just wondering because, we figured it out.
Yeah, I'll probably put them up. I'm not going to put them up tonight because I'm done after this class. I will put them up probably tomorrow sometime.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'll put a note on Teams. It'll say I just loaded the extra frequency problems.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.